Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the October 7th, 2025 Board of County Commissioners meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Again, welcome everybody. First on our agenda are approval of our minutes. Gentlemen, do we have any additions or corrections?
Not me.
Okay.
I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County held on Tuesday, September 30th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County, September 30th, 2025. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next up is planning. Come on down. Do we have the applicants? Okay, this being the time set aside for a public hearing for a single lot development submitted by Brenda Daves. Would you call the roll, please, Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney Tarnowski.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, County Clerk. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for a review and determination of a proposed 5-acre single-lot development and rezoning application submitted by Brenda Daves, agent Brenna Webb, on property located at 25580 Road 18, Pleasant View, Colorado, consisting of 328.38 acres, more or less, located south of Road CC and east of Highway 491, situated in Section 3, Township 37 North, Range 17 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, October 7th, 2025 at 9 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office. Online services at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com, public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 15th day of September 2025. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, would you give us a brief overview of this one, please?
Sure. So the application is for a single lot development for a 5-acre parcel out of the 328 acres. Basically, that's it. Just a 5-acre single lot. Brenna wants to build a house on there, on her family's property. Access is off the county road.
And all the utilities are available?
Correct.
Everything is available, pretty straightforward. Okay,
P&Z.
question?
Pardon me?
Planning and zoning.
They were unanimous to recommend it for approval.
Commissioner, you have any
The other
questions?
5-acre lot in the northwest corner was done by an exemption several years ago. I don't remember when, but 90s or 2000s. But
Okay. Would you like to add anything? No? Okay. All right. Any
I
questions?
don't have anything
All
right
right.
now.
Well then, this is going to be nice and easy. It doesn't look like the room is full of confrontational personnel. So with that, I do have to open up this application for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against the application, please come forward to the podium. State your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. All right, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application, and I will bring it back to the board. Gentlemen.
I have nothing further.
Okay. Commissioner?
I don't have any problem with it. Meets all the qualifications of the land use code, so I have no problem. Okay. I move to approve this proposed 5-acre single lot development and rezoning application submitted by Brenda Daves, agent Brenna Webb, on property located at 25580 Road 18, Pleasant View, Colorado.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed 5-acre single lot development and rezoning application submitted by Brenda Daves, agent Brenna Webb, on property located at 25580 Road 18, Pleasant View, Colorado. Is there any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you have been approved, ma'am. Thank you very much. And I will close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, I'm way ahead of my time here, so it looks like we have some
You do have a
Mylars to
Mylar for
sign,
signature?
So if you want to go ahead and get those out, and those would be for the 10-acre single lot development for Douglas Family Trust. We'll get that taken care of while we're waiting for the time to get to 9:10. Oh, one more? Okay, that one's done. And that was it? One signature? That's quick and easy. All right, I have 2 minutes to fill before I can call for the next public hearing. Do you have anything else? I'll just get it out of the way right now.
No, we're working on a short list of properties that needs some compliance addressed.
Mhm.
And then I need to get with Stephen on just confirming our email response to Mr. Kinsey for this morning. But
Okay.
no, it's, we'll have P&Z on Thursday, and we'll continue our discussion with them as far as alternative energy. I'll send them the link for the discussion yesterday, just so they've got an idea of how, where, when, what, and why, kind of how we're headed with the language. Not so prescriptive, but more in line with how the rest of the land use code and comprehensive plan is written.
Okay. And then as far as the land use code concerns and violations, do you want, Stephen, do you want just 3 at a time? That was what we were doing with Ian. We were just doing 3 at a time until we get those addressed, and then we just keep 3 in the queue. Is that still kind of the?
Yeah, I think that's a good approach, because, you know, we've got to start somewhere, get the ball rolling.
Mhm.
You know, just kind of looking at some of these properties and the county's involvement over time, I think there's always the risk that you kind of lose one in the shuffle if you know, if the scope is too broad. So I think 3 at a time
Okay.
is a good approach.
Okay.
And
Very good. Then we'll keep that same methodology and go 3 at a time, and we'll keep going from there. So it is 9:10. If you want to come up to the table. So this now being the time set aside for a public hearing for a two-lot moderate subdivision submitted by Harold and Linda Randolph. Would you call the roll, please, Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney Tarnowski.
Here.
Kim Purcell, County Clerk. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed two-lot moderate subdivision and rezoning application submitted by Harold and Linda Randolph on property located at 13348 Highway 145, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 15.89 acres more or less, located north of Road N, east of Highway 145, situated in Section 6, Township 36 North, Range 15 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, at 9:10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 15th day of September, 2025, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Would you give us an overview on this one, Don?
Sure. The Randolphs are proposing to subdivide their property along Highway 145. They're looking at splitting off the house with a little over 5.5 acres there on the north and leave the remaining 10 acres to the south. They currently have an access off of Highway 145. CDOT's asked that they just apply for an access permit just to record that driveway access. It's an old grandfathered access. Their house has been there forever. And then on the ag land, there's an ag access that was permitted in 21. If any development on that lot occurs, either by Randolph's or if they sell the property, Road and Bridge has requested that driveway be moved to the east to extend further away from that intersection. But just for the ag access now, it's perfectly fine. But if it comes to a commercial hay barn or a residence, something else, that'll need to be relocated. P&Z was unanimous to recommend it for approval.
Okay. Would you like to add anything, Mr. Randolph? Okay. Questions, Commissioners?
I don't have any.
Where's the ag access now?
It's right down there on the very southwest corner on Road N.
Oh, so it's right there. Okay. That's all right.
Okay. All right. Well, then, this being the time, I will open this up for public comment for this application. If you have or would like to address the board, please come forward, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. All right. Seeing no public comment, I will close the public comment session of this application. Bring it back to the board, gentlemen.
Nothing further.
Okay?
I don't have any problem with it.
Okay.
Meets all the qualifications and should be fine.
I would so move, we accept the proposed two-lot moderate subdivision and rezoning application submitted by Harold and Linda Randolph on property located at 13348 Highway 145, Dolores.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed two-lot moderate subdivision and rezoning application submitted by Harold and Linda Randolph on property located at 13348 Highway 145, Dolores, Colorado. Is there any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, sir, you have been approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. And I will close the public hearing. All right, gosh. We've got 5 minutes before the next one. All right, well then, we're gonna move right along.
Liquor license, we could do a liquor license.
I sure can. We can do our consent agenda too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go right down the agenda. We're going to go to our consent agenda. On our consent agenda today is a transfer order for the LEA fund, the E911 fund, and the public health per capita, along with a resolution number 2025 for the Lewis Areola Fire Protection Vacancy Appointment Resolution that we did a couple of weeks ago. And with that, gentlemen,
I would so move we approve the consent agenda consisting transfer order for law enforcement authority, transfer order for the E911 fund, and a transfer order for public health per capita. And also approving resolution number 20 for the Lewis Areola Fire Protection District vacancy appointment.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda as proposed. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and I see Ms. Frizzell just walked in. We're going to go ahead and let you get in and get out.
Good morning. My name's Jerry Frizzell. I do the liquor license renewals and new businesses for Montezuma County. Today I have the renewal for Booze Stop LLC at 18794 Highway 491. I have the letter from the sheriff saying that they've had no violations either.
Everything is in order.
I move to approve this renewal application for liquor license for Booze Stop LLC at 18794 Highway 491, Lewis, Colorado.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept this retail liquor license renewal application for Booze Stop LLC located at 18794 Highway 491, Lewis, Colorado. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, ma'am. Trying to find the signature.
Turn that one over on the back of that
Did you work?
All right, Jerry.
Oh, sorry, it's good.
one. Oh, that's why I couldn't find it.
Come on, what's the problem, guys?
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That one enough?
Commissioner, you kept it from me.
Too many pages. Use them for the day. Get in, get out.
Okay, I'll remember that.
I know, paybacks. That's okay. Don't get mad, get glad, and get even.
Excuse me just a minute.
We still have 1 minute, so we're just hanging tight. I don't see any other applicants in here. Don, are they going to be here? Do we need to continue
They
this?
should be here, but I do not see them in the room.
So I guess we can go ahead and continue. So it is 9:20, this being the time set aside for another public hearing that was submitted by Catherine and William
Is it Voiles?
Biles?
Voiles.
Boyles. Would you call a roll, please, Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney Tarnowski.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, County Clerk. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for a review and determination of a proposed subdivision amendment application for a common lot line change to lots A and B of the Bear Dance Ranch two-lot minor development submitted by Catherine and William Boyles on property located at 13550 Road 42, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 23.61 acres more or less, and Aaron and Melissa Wallace on property located at 13520 Road 42, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 3.88 acres more or less, and a subdivision amendment application for subdividing Lot A of the Bear Dance Ranch two-lot minor development into two lots submitted by Catherine and William Boyles on property located at 13550 Road 42, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 23.61 acres more or less, all located east of Road 42, situated in Section 2, Township 36 North, Range 13 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, September 30th, 2025 at 9:10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online service at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 15th day of September 2025, Kim Purcell Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, September 16th, 2025.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, overview on this one, please.
Yes, so the Boyles, they subdivided their property 2 or 3 years ago and sold the southwest lot. Now, since they are planning to subdivide again, the neighbor to the southwest there would like to gain a little bit more property, so they would like to do a common lot line adjustment. It may not be the full 0.9 acres, but maybe more like a half an acre, but it'll basically be to get a little more property right there where that triangle is with the dotted line, and that would go to the southwest property owners. And then the Voiles would plan to subdivide the remaining Lot A more or less in half, 10 acres on the west with the house, and then the vacant area in the back is roughly 12 acres. Their driveway would be the access easement dedicated to the east of Lot A divided. That's basically it. P&Z was unanimous to recommend it for approval with the dedicated easement to the eastern Lot A parcel. And then Wildfire Adaptive recommended a fire mitigation plan when they originally subdivided, and that would continue for any development going forward on this property. With all the vegetation and trees and everything, any new roads, residences would need to be mitigated.
All right, questions?
Do you have any idea where they are as far as their development of that water system up there?
It's 90% designed. They do have construction drawings to that point. There's been a holdup with funding, obviously with grants, but that process is still moving forward, and the design should be done, I would guess, sometime over the winter. And depending on grant funding and the cycles, they may be able to actually start construction next year. Obviously, anybody on that subdivision, the Voiles house is part of the commitment. So anybody on that eastern lot would also need to be joined in on that water line system and be included in that commitment for water.
So I guess my concern is probably, I think, in the same lines with yours. I don't have any issue with the lot line adjustment, whether it's 0.5 or 0.96. That's pretty straightforward. But to create that new parcel without that water system there, I think it's the same, to be consistent with what we've been doing specifically in the Mancos area.
There has to be a water
If the water supply, I know it's engineered.
So
and it's
they're all on
planned.
cisterns now, so you
Yeah,
I
can't,
know, but
you can't have them join a water line that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
understand that. But we've been challenged, and and I know that it's permissible. I just don't think it's a good idea. I think this is where you were heading, Commissioner, is we're creating parcels that are gonna be sold, and somebody's gonna buy it thinking that they actually have water there, and if something falls through with the funding, the engineering is complete, right? Isn't that what you just said? Or mostly complete?
Correct.
But now their funding source is not 100%, basically?
Yeah, I don't know the specifics of their funding. I just have received last month a copy of their 90% construction drawings.
And I know that we've done it in the past. Until they actually had a water supply, a patent water supply, we didn't approve it. So we have two things in front of us: a property or a lot line adjustment, which is pretty straightforward. They're just getting more property, but the creation of the parcel. So 2 in 1.
So even if, I mean, this is actually a better case scenario because there's a future water source.
Yeah.
Whereas in, everybody's on a cistern now, so that would just be another lot with a cistern. They don't plan on selling that eastern part. It's designed to stay in the family, but you never know what's gonna
If
happen.
they're subdividing it, it will
Yeah.
sell at some point in time.
Correct.
So
The
if
future's
they
not
weren't going
guaranteed.
to sell it, it would be left alone.
Right.
I've said what I've got
I
to say.
can't, you know, you can't put in a deed restriction that commits them to this water line
Yeah,
in
they don't.
that lot, so.
Mm-mm. Go ahead, Stephen. Looked like you were gonna.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Commissioners, in our land use code, as far as water supply, I'm looking at the development criteria in 5103.3. It says an adequate supply of potable water shall be available to each lot in a subdivision. Subdivisions that are served by existing rural or municipal water systems require a formal commitment of water service from the appropriate water supplier and the installation of water lines by the subdivider to the boundary of each lot. And then number 4 is that cisterns are only allowed in the event that a potable water supply is not otherwise available and may be installed by the lot buyer. Those are the provisions we have in the land use code about the adequacy of the water supply.
So the water supply is not available currently today. It's been proposed and planned, and we've been working with this for how long now? 4 years, 5 years?
3 or 4
6
years.
It's probably, I don't know that it's
It's-
been, since they came in here and
They really
had
got
that
serious about
design
18
to
months
do
ago.
that. It's probably only been
Been a
no
while.
more than 3 years, has it?
Yeah.
I think probably 3.
Maybe 3 years.
So this is a little bit different situation. So what, I mean,
And
if we,
cisterns,
I guess my question is, could you approve this parcel with no development being on it until that system is installed?
the way I read this provision, that cisterns are only allowed in the event that a potable water supply is not otherwise available and may be installed by the lot buyer. I guess it comes down to is a potable water supply otherwise available?
No.
Cisterns are
Currently, no.
available.
It's not
Currently,
available
no.
today.
And I mean, you can still go back to Mancus and their water dock, but if Mancus doesn't get proactive and restrict it, right now, anybody from Nebraska could come over and get 40,000 gallons of water on it. I know it's a point, but I also know that if Mancus can't control that, then it's open and available.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we can say. It meets the code,
I don't,
so you can't impose something that Mancus might want to do or should do if they don't do it.
I don't want to get into a situation like they had in southeast Colorado, where the water dock, they closed it, and all of those homes were without water, period.
I think that's what we've been struggling, specifically in the Mancus area, specifically after the conversations face-to-face with them and the emails that we've received from them of the natural resource itself of water. They don't have the water, and they're not, we're not getting into water system providers, because that's really not in our jurisdiction. It's just a matter of,
So does Mancus have a plan?
I
No.
couldn't
I
tell
haven't
you.
heard of anything.
No.
As far as doing key cards and only those that live within the area are allowed to use it?
They've talked about it.
Well,
but they
they've
don't-
been
they
talking for
haven't-
3 or
they
4
haven't
years,
actually
but
forced a plan on it. But the whole problem is, just like this summer, Mancus has a number 3 water right out of the river. We were past that.
Sure.
We were down to half a number 2 on the river. So
Oh, I'm
basically,
sure.
the water they had to come out of Jackson, and they have a limited amount of it. I can see where they could get into a situation where they would shut that water dock down.
I can too.
Because
just to
they're gonna
maintain
supply
maintenance.
the citizens of that town first.
right?
And then
But
they're-
then, I mean, then you go to Cortez for your water dock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's two sides of the argument, and I get it. I
And
understand
Montezuma
that.
water is connected to Mancus rural water. It wouldn't be cheap, but
So
it
let me-
is available.
Let me ask you the question, what is the urgency of this subdivision right now if the intent is to leave it intact?
That
They're
I
not
can't,
here, you can't answer
that
that.
I can't answer.
I understand that. So
So-
since they're not here, I don't see the urgency for this lot to be split at this point in time. Now, if they had a buyer, I mean, it seemed like, so that the buyer knows that, hey, there's the potential for this to be without water, and I think that it would be
We might have
something-
your
a
answer
different-
coming in the
a
door.
different conversation at that point in time. So, without the patent water supply, I think we stay consistent with what we've done in the past, specifically in Mancus.
Commissioners, I would just like to chime in. You know, we've had kind of a wider ranging conversation, maybe than I expected. Our job today is really to make a decision on this application for subdivision and this common lot line adjustment according to the requirements of the land use code. And then some of these other issues about, you know, what's Mancus's plan as far as use of their water dock probably are beyond the scope of this public hearing, could be addressed elsewhere. Of course, the land use code could be amended as to some of those concerns, but the board's job today is really to apply our land use code to this application.
We have the applicant here, so let's grill him.
So,
Yeah.
well, if you'll pull that up here. So, we have two proposals in front of us today. One is the lot line adjustment, which is between a half and an acre, basically. That one's pretty straightforward. The bigger concern is taking I guess it'd be, 23.61 acres, and then splitting it in half.
Essentially.
where we don't have a patent water supply up there. So Mr. Haley presented, which the question then is to you, is if this is not an urgency and it's planning to stay in the family, why do we need to split this lot right now without the patent water supply? And I know they're working on it. The engineering, I think, has been done. It's just a matter of the funding for that water line up that county road.
Certainly.
So is there an urgency to split this at this point in time if it's staying in the family?
At an urgency, I would say no.
Okay.
Again, there was, what we were looking at doing is selling the front and then having the back and maintaining that in the family, where that is not the case at this point in time. But whether we sell all of it or a portion in the future is, yet to be seen.
Right.
But as far as an urgency to do it at this point in time,
I'll
Here
give
we
you a
are.
minute. I'll give you
Pull up a
just
chair,
a second.
pull up a chair.
I would like to say,
So here's what we've ran into in the past, and specifically in Mancos, because the natural resource of water over there is pretty scarce. And to permit this or to allow this, the only way it can be done is on a cistern, which you're probably on a cistern right now.
we are in a cistern now.
Other than you
There's-
will be tied in when the water line actually becomes available.
Correct.
And I don't know if that's a year out or what the time frame is.
As, from what we know and have discussed with members is, there's plans of having shovels in the ground this spring, depending upon grants.
So
and
it could,
funding
it
and
could
so
be a
forth.
year.
It could be a year, but there's, at this point, there's no plans to develop the second lot.
Right.
At this point in time, and there wouldn't be until that water line was, water system was put in. And in fact, assuming that happens, it's probably beneficial with the district to have the additional lot, because there'll be additional additional
Right.
lot, which will actually help cost
Mhm.
for the group if we do have that.
Yeah,
And again,
which-
maintaining it to where, with the easement that we have coming through, that there wouldn't be additional, if we sold it out of the family or what, where it is actually prevented by the easement itself to continue to develop the rear section or any portion of it. So it's it's limited in that from an overdevelopment, when it's outside of our hands, if it is, to do that. So, there wouldn't be a plan to develop rear. If we sold the front, we built our home and
Yeah, and we're not talking about if it gets developed or not. We're just talking about for development, it's really better to have a patent water supply.
Yeah.
And right now, we don't. So that's why the question was, is there an urgency at this point in time today to split that lot if it's just planning on staying in the family? Or is it better to wait for a year when that supply is actually there? So, go ahead, Madam.
We would definitely like the option to sell the front once the water system is in, to be able to do that. What we would like to do is keep part of this land in our family. We have 2 boys. That is for them to go camp or do whatever they want, go fishing in that pond. That's where those boys grew up. We can't financially be able to have it all and live here forever because we work, and we have to go to Durango most days. So we want to at least be able to have the option to sell the front with the water, but if we don't split it, then we won't have that choice. We'll be stuck. We won't be able to move. We'll be commuting to Durango, and we won't have the ability to sell this property when we have the water system, which we have every indication that it will be happening in 2026. So, no, would we sell it prior to that, this day? Probably not, because our tenants have decided to move. They were gonna purchase it, but now they're not.
Correct,
Yeah.
and I get that. That's why I said, what is the urgency today to split to make the split. I don't see the urgency without the water supply being there. Our concern is the water supply, not what, I appreciate what you're going to do or what your plans are. I get it, I understand that, but right now, when the water supply comes in, the house that's currently existing will be tied in, right?
Correct.
And then, at that point in time, the back lot could be tied in. So, I guess without any intent of selling it without the water supply, and I'm speaking just for me, I've got two guys here on the side of me, that it does not seem to have the urgency for the split today. I'm not gonna say that when the line is in and you have a patent water supply, then it makes it a lot easier to make a decision.
So my question would be, we've gone through a lot of, quite a bit of money they want today. I don't want to spend that money if this is not going to be done. Is that correct? That's a question and an issue for us, very much so. And then also the next question is, would we still be able to make that adjustment for the Wallaces?
Yeah,
on
the
that
lot
other
line adjustment, like I said in the beginning, is there, that's a pretty straightforward adjustment, whether it's a half an acre or an acre. It's depicted as .96, but whatever it actually surveys out to be, that's pretty straightforward. That has no issues with the neighbor that's, I guess, to the south.
Commissioners, one thing I'd like to chime in on, I think, I think my previous comments were about, the role of the board in applying the code. From my perspective, there's no requirement in the code for any kind of urgency in an application. The application's been submitted by the landowners. The question about whether or not water is available has been kind of the subject of the discussion of the board up to this point. Again, the provision in the code is that an adequate supply of potable water shall be available to each lot in a subdivision. And then there's this provision about the cisterns that are only allowed in the event that a potable water supply is not otherwise available and may be installed by the buyer. My advice to the board would be, to approve the application if you find that it meets the requirements. If you find that it doesn't meet the requirements as far as water supply, something the board could consider is, making approval contingent on the available water supply being connected to those lots.
Discussion.
I don't have any problem doing it that way as far as that goes, but
Okay with that?
I think there has to be some,
Yeah. What we're trying, we're kind of in no man's land, I guess, because like I referred to earlier, in southeast Colorado, there was a group of, what was it, 110 homes?
well, that's that whole Trincera
Yeah.
development over there, and that town shut off all their water hauling.
Yeah.
They're hauling water 70-some miles.
And we don't want, we
To
see
their
this kind
cisterns.
of trickling along, and we're getting more and more homes on cisterns, but yet, Mancus Water Dock is susceptible to being cut off because of drought. And we don't want to create that situation up there. And hence the water line project. But the water line project is contingent upon grants. And what we see in grants right now is pretty tenable.
Yeah. It's definitely a concern.
Right.
I will also say that our taxes have gone quite a bit up since we lived there. And that's the other thing, it's hard to pay more in taxes and not get anything. It would be really great if we all pitched in and got all these folks water, in a perfect world.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. There's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, moving here
Yes.
and living here.
It's tough to
So-
live here.
And we've worked really super hard on that place for many years, since '08. So we would just like to create some options. I totally understand that, I think we'd be open if we didn't have the cost of splitting it and we got our money back and we're good to go, we'll wait for you. So it's up to you, I guess. That's how I feel.
Well, if we're gonna do that, then the contingency is okay to not be able to sell that lot at all until there's a patent water supply, I can live with that too. And if your intent is down the road to wait for that, then it shouldn't be an issue.
I think that's a little different than what I had suggested, because it's really not, I think that contingency is really not related to the requirements of the code. What I think would be permissible is that that the subdivision would be contingent on the available water supply being connected prior to building on the lot.
I think that's fair.
You agree with that?
Yeah. You want to try and form that into a
I got
motion?
it, I got it right here.
You kid? Let's see if I can make this work.
Don't forget your public comment.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just,
We're
Fair
getting
enough.
out of the game
this
here.
was the discussion, I'm just trying to get it formatted so that we are good to go. Anything else? Any other discussion before I open it up? I don't think we're gonna have much, but we still have to do it. So, okay, after that discussion, I've given the applicants time to give us their correspondence, so we will open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against the application, come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you may address the board at this time. One guy in the back. Seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application and bring it back to the board. Gentlemen.
The only other question I had is when the Mancos Rural Water agreed to treatment of the water for that system up there, do you know if they put a limitation on how many taps there could be on that line?
I'm not sure of the number. I do know, I think.
Can
for-
I need you to speak into that mic.
Sorry.
We can hear you, but
Yeah.
on TV can't hear you.
As far as a number of taps that they're allowing, I'm unaware of that. I do know, once, I believe what was discussed, correct me if I'm wrong, they were gonna put a moratorium on the number within, I think, 6 months of completion of that project. But as far as I know, I mean, as far as the district proposed, I mean, they're looking for, more members and so on and so forth, to be a part of that, which obviously decreases cost per member. Or per plot.
I think that's a question for the folks that are really heading up this water project. And I don't want to speak for them, like the upper 42. So we would have to ask to know for sure if that's.
I
don't
think
we're any-
currently they have 27 members, but their plan is a 20,000 gallon storage tank.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
How big's the
They're
lot,
pretty
do
big
you
tank.
remember?
It's a 4-inch line,
Okay.
main line.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Commissioner. We got two of them, a
Yeah.
lot line adjustment and
I move to approve the common lot line change to lots A and B of the Bear Dance Ranch two-lot minor development submitted by Catherine and William Boyles on property located at 13550 Road 42, Mancos, Colorado.
you want to just do it on both?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also move to approve the the subdivision amendment application on subdividing of Lot A of the Bear Dance Ranch two-lot minor development into 2 lots. Submitted by Catherine and William Boyles on property located at 13550 Road 42, Memphis, Colorado, consisting of 23.61 acres, contingent on the available water supply prior to building on the lot that was created.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision amendment application for a common lot line change to lots A and B of the Bear Dance Ranch 2-lot minor development submitted by Catherine and William Boyles on property located at 13550 Road 42, Memphis, Colorado, consisting of 23.61 acres more or less, and Aaron and Melissa Wallace on property located at 13520 Road 42, Memphis, Colorado, consisting of 3.88 acres more or less, and a subdivision amendment application for subdividing Lot A of the Bear Dance Ranch 2-lot minor development into 2 lots submitted by Catherine and William Boyles on property located at 13550 Road 42, Memphis, Colorado, consisting of 23.61 acres more or less, with the contingency of the availability of water supply prior to building on the lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. You have been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I will close this public hearing. All right, do I have any public comment today? Yes, ma'am, okay.
Thank you.
I'm not rushing you off, Don. Anything else? No. I think we took care of it all.
I think he's had enough of us.
All right, public comment of our regular meeting now. The public comment portion of the agenda provides the public an opportunity to speak to the Board of Commissioners about issues that are not on the main agenda. Testimony relating to scheduled agenda items will not be allowed during public comment. Rules of decorum will be strictly enforced. Outbursts and interruptions from any person in the hearing room, including shouting, clapping, booing, laughing, or other reactions to the proceedings, are prohibited. Any comments from the public shall only be made by persons who are residents of Montezuma County who have been recognized by the chair and who are speaking into the microphone, and only after they have stated their name and address for the record. Each person will have 3 minutes to comment. No speaker may yield their time to others. Comments shall only be made to the board. No comments or questions shall be directed to staff or other members of the public. Well, with that, the chair recognizes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Eleanor McFarland. I live at 18405 Road P.2 in Cortez. I'd like to make some observations on the current process for adding a renewable energy section to our county land use code, if I may. From what has appeared on the monitors during the planning and zoning presentation during the workshop on September 22nd, it seems there is a good start to the renewable energy section of the county land use code. It's also heartening to hear it said at yesterday's workshop that you don't want the code to be outdated in 6 months because new and better technology has become available. As county officials, you have access to far more first-hand developments in all types of renewable energy than any 10 county residents put together, and therefore the ability to see a comprehensive view of what our county's limitations and needs are. With all that in mind, I'd like to add that in the end, there should be no room in the new language that can be interpreted for unintended workarounds by any developers. And that is a reference to Resolution 2, 2015. As for the moratorium, it seems it should be continued while you make the official version of the updates available to the public and while you hold the required public hearings. Until those are finished, the process isn't complete. Ending the moratorium before that would put new applications right back into the existing rules, and that's not exactly what we residents had in mind when this process began back in April. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next. All right, seeing no further public comment, we'll close the public comment session of this meeting. And we do not have any need for a executive session at all. So I'm going to go to our reports, county attorney's report.
Good morning, Commissioners. This last weekend, this week, I will be working on those, revised solar regs that were just mentioned, working along with the planning department, trying to get those back to the board in a timely manner. I've also spent a little bit of time over the last week or so looking at some of these other state requirements that are all derived from various bills that were passed in 2024 that are all starting to go into effect. One of them's the WUI code, trying to figure out, given the board's motion to basically opt out of doing the local enforcement, what requirements, if any, do we have to notify the state that that's the case? I think we really need to, Don and I mean by we, need to touch base with our local fire protection districts because they also arguably have some requirements similar to the board. Under that, there's also a turf ban that the state envisions counties would be enforcing, as well as some increased local responsibilities as far as licensing of massage facilities, which now, as I understand, is primarily done by the state. So I think those are all, potentially unfunded mandates, as far as I'm aware, that have increased local responsibilities for counties. So I'm trying to figure out what, if any, additional steps do we need to take on any of those fronts. I'll also be meeting with Don to talk about our list there, our priority list for our land use enforcement. This Friday is the deadline to certify the record in the Leaf Properties civil case, so I've been working on that as well. We've got a child protection docket this Wednesday that our assistant county attorney will be covering, and then I know I've got to get back to our administration on that Summit Foods contract as well. I've been looking at that, and Travis has been helpful, sending me some different contracts on that front. Any questions about any of those issues?
No.
Pretty straightforward. Travis.
Gentlemen, I'll try to keep this short. What we have in front of you is an agreement to transfer some equipment. This equipment is the backpack sprayers. High Desert Conservation wants to undertake that program under their auspices. I believe we have 10 or 12. We have 12 backpack sprayers. Some are functional, some need repair. So I just need your approval to, from a government to government transfer to give that stuff back over to them so that they can kick off that program.
This be available to all residents of the county?
Under their auspices, yeah.
Okay.
So if you're good with me signing that, we'll get this signed and I'll get it transferred over to them.
I move to approve this agreement for transfer of equipment between Montezuma County and the High Desert Conservation District involving the ownership of 12 backpack sprayers and associated repair kits from Montezuma County to the High Desert Conservation District for availability of residents of Montezuma County.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept and sign the agreement for transfer of equipment between Montezuma County and the High Desert Conservation District. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Next gentleman, we went through the community grant program, a grant request. We picked out 5 that we believe are going to benefit the community. We had quite a list of requests, but we went through and got 5. So we'll send those out to you via email in case you guys have any questions. Last Tuesday, done a lot of back and forth with the town of Dolores on data and information request as it relates to their contract. We are moving forward with an RFP for the fairgrounds improvement for ADA accessibility for the parking lots. That should be coming out fairly quickly. Followed up with Dolores County. They are still on the path of trying to find a VSO, and they're going to keep us in the loop. So that happened last week as well. Worked on some food services stuff. Friday was all day actually was CCI. They was trying to get 8 priorities. Should have taken a half a day. It took all day, but that's okay. A lot of discussion was about protection for elected officials from political violence, immigration policies, Prop 123, energy facilities. That was brought forward by Dolores County. And then Regulation 31. Morgan County is highly concerned, I think, as every other county. Their expectation is $3 to $5 million just to start up the process. So there was a lot of discussion about that. We also met with the sheriff's office last week, and even the week prior, I believe, on their budget. Made some recommendations. Got an email this morning that they want to increase it, but understanding that we are losing the Dolores contract. Doesn't sound like they're going to fund it. That's $275,000. Requested the sheriff, he wants to keep those 2 FTEs, so I requested him this morning to look through his budget and reduce $275,000. Currently, bear with me. Currently, 42.84% of the general fund budget is allocated towards the sheriff's office. If they kept the 275, that would go to 44.40%, but that doesn't include the capital items of 219,000 that we're adding. So I requested him to prioritize and get back as to what other line items he can reduce to the 275. Any questions?
No.
I think, you know, the major capital items that we talked about in these budget committee hearings were the radios for the jail, because they're somewhat older, and they don't have the technology. In 5 to 7 years, they're outdated, which are a big ticket item. The tasers, right?
Tasers, yes, sir.
Which are another big ticket item, and then the smallest one would be the gravel at the shooting range. That'll all come out of capital. So we did put quite a bit of money in there for the capital, just like you said, which will come out of our capital expense, not the sheriff. So it's not going to be shown in that budget. It will be coming out of our capital expenditures.
And just so you gentlemen know, the overall figure does not include the CBA. So
Correct. So
that would increase substantially.
yeah. Question?
If we could just get our revenues to increase substantially, we'd be all right.
Well,
But that's another time.
That's it, gentlemen.
okay.
Thank you, Travis.
Ms. Kim?
Just wanted to give you guys an update on the election. The November coordinated election ballots will be going out on the 13th. The drop box at our office will be open at that time. The rest of the drop boxes will not be open until the October 28th. And ballots will have to be back to us by November 4th. So,
Okay.
we do have a sample ballot on the county website, as well as the Tabor notices, the local Tabor notices, and they were mailed out last Friday. So you should be receiving those too.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Copenafer.
This week, we're going to have our Southwest Water Conservation Board meeting in Mancos. Tomorrow afternoon, we're gonna do a tour of some different water projects around the area. Thursday, the actual meeting will be at the Mancos Library facility. I think it starts at 8 or 9 o'clock, I can't remember which. It'll be pretty much all day on that day. If anybody's interested in attending one of those meetings, why, at least it's here close where if a county resident wants to attend, why, sure welcome to. Can also, it will be online also. Also supposed to have interviews for the AAA director this week too. It's going on, of course, tomorrow afternoon. Same as the other meeting, so see what I can get done. But that's about all I've got to report.
Okay.
I had
Lindsay.
no phone calls and no emails this week, which was unusual. And not much of a report, but I have a
Wow.
question of Kim and Travis. Is there any stress being put on by the federal government shutdown on our grant applications or any of our offices that you've heard?
I've seen some emails come through. I think the biggest thing is just the availability of staff. I think if it's some automated, submitting your reimbursements, I don't see that there's any issues there. It's just the availability of their
Okay.
staff right now, is what I'm seeing.
I know that tourism is taking a hit because the park's shut down. Basically, the gate's open, but nobody's home. So, other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay, very good. I'll be brief also, along with Travis. Like you said, last Thursday, we met with the sheriff and his staff, which is basically just working along with that survey that we got from KRW to make sure that we have that open line of communication taken. It was actually a productive and good meeting. We then met with the sheriff yesterday, as stated prior to that, because with that reduction of revenue, Dolores doesn't want to fund those two positions, it doesn't sound like, so that's just a loss of the $275,000. So there's more conversations to come with that. CCI, thank you, Travis, for taking care of that for me, because there was no way Friday I could sit that long to listen to all that meeting. The 123 prop, I know that's being presented by Archuleta County. I'm not sure where that's going to go, but we'll see if that made the top priority list or not. I think it did. To change those regulations and a lot of tier twos, which are basically left up to those individual counties to address through the state legislation on their own instead of through CCI.
What about Dolores County's resolution? Did it come up?
It did come up. So this was the last, we had to get down to the final 8.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it actually made the final 8 or not, Travis.
Dolores County on their energy facilities?
Yes.
No, it didn't.
It's
Would've
gonna,
helped
that
them
one's gonna
out.
be tough.
Would have helped them out.
So, they do have the opportunity, if they wanna try and find somebody to carry a bill for them, they do, and they can do that, but
Yeah.
it's a whole lot stronger if you have all 64 counties than trying to fight something on your own. Obviously, we had our workshop yesterday, which you took care of everything. We do have a public health or a Board of Health meeting this afternoon at 1:30, and that is all that I have.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this 10-7 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.